Well, good morning, everyone. This is Pastor Terry as we looking over, looking ahead to the next week or so and plus of weather and kind of getting an idea of what's happening since we've been enjoying a fairly mild to warm January to start. Those for sure. Definitely saving money on heating costs and stuff, and that's not a bad thing. But for those who love winter weather and the cold and the snow, it hasn't been too pleasant, if you will. Is anything going to change? Well, first off, let's take a look at what's going on right now. And probably what sticks out in the satellite picture this morning is a lot of bright reds and oranges and yellows and all kinds of moisture flowing in off of the Pacific Ocean, coming into California and the west there. Tons and tons of water and snow being dumped out there. And it's been a wet start to the year for them. So they put a big drought. They certainly need it. Not much else happening. This little piece off here off the coast, as the energy of the system that actually came through last night gave us our coating of snow. If you happen to get that, it was a possibility one I was looking at last week, and it just never really materialized into much. But it was a system that is actually going to grow into a decent system off the coast, but won't affect us. All right. And the radar, again, California getting hit. And the rule is when California a lot of times gets slammed with big storms, we can get some storms, but we're generally mild across the nation because of the way the setup has to be to get them to have the big storms coming in. That generally means warm air is flowing in, mild Pacific air will be flowing across the nation like this. That's exactly what's happening. Um, how long will that last? Well, we'll look at that. All right, here we go. There's our system for this morning. Scooted on out, gave us our coating. Big weather out west. Highs for today, very seasonal in the 30s to near 40 with some sun and clouds. Really not a bad day. And then we look to Tuesday morning again. The west actually a little bit of a break, but another storm, another piece of energy is just off the coast. Lots of mountain snows in the Rockies. Again, very good for them out there. Seasonal weather for us, mild in the Texas on south there. We got highs 70s in Texas. Hey, of course, there's Florida. It's actually not super warm in Florida. That's kind of average to coolish. But you look at here, cold air's locked way up into Canada. Us again, seasonal kind of weather in the 30s to near 40 degrees. And then we go ahead and we look to Wednesday. Again, more mountain snows here in the west, some other energy off the coast that's going to be coming in, and not much here happening for us. Again, for temperatures in the 30s to basically around 40 degrees, warm along the Gulf Coast. Now we begin to get one of the systems that hit the west. We begin to see a developing storm to the west here as we head into Thursday this week. This storm system here, as it will continue to push northeast, and yeah, there's some residual cool air, so it won't be that warm when Thursday clouds come in. Temperatures again, they're just showing in the lower 40s, but I think the cool air is probably going to hold on a little bit better. But it'll be around 40 degrees again for Thursday, but it'll keep going up Thursday night. As you can see, there's a warm surge of air here coming in, but the warm air is being pinched, okay, being pinched off a little bit. So then let's go here, and you see the storm system heads on up here through the Ohio Valley and the eastern, kind of central eastern Great Lakes. But this is where questions begin to come in. You can see obviously rain here along the East Coast. West Coast is starting to quiet for just a temporary. What I'm getting at is that we'll see here with the temperatures here on Thursday, Friday afternoon, temperatures in the lower 40s. Probably too low here. What's happening is that you're getting a warm surge of air ahead of this. We will break into this area in here, I think, and east and stuff like this. We'll easily break into the 40s and even some 50s to near 60, particularly along the coastal areas. So you take this section, Thursday night temperature will warm up. So Friday morning when you get up, it's probably not going to be 41 degrees. It's Friday afternoon. Probably be more like about 47, 48 degrees or something like that, I'm thinking. And then what you're going to be looking at is temperatures settling out, holding in that mid to upper 40s almost all day Friday, but the air will begin to grow colder. It'll feel cooler to the skin as it gets less humid. And then what will happen is then you'll see the temperature start to tail off later in the day. Now, This is one looking at 500 millibars. We're talking about, thousands of feet up in the air in the atmosphere. And you're looking at the energy that helps drive. This is a trough right here, okay? Right here, you have the low sitting up in here. But you got a lot of energy here. You got a lot of energy in here. Can these pieces form a new low somewhere off to the east? Okay. Let's see if I can erase this here for us. Okay. Can these pieces of energy form a new low pressure? I'll put it in a different color so you can see a little bit better. Somewhere in here. Can it form one close to the coast? If it can throw moisture back, and we might be able to get into possibly some more rain and maybe even some snow. This model here, as you can see, is showing that there's going to be a development off the coast here because of the way this is setting up. This trough is going kind of what you call neutral at this point. Another scenario, see here you go. Here's the low. Sorry, here's the nut. This is what one scenario is. The low delta off the coast never affects us. The second low. Another scenario was one something like this. We noticed that the orientation of this one is more like this. It's tilted. This would be developing a storm system right here. Okay, much closer to the coast. As you can see here, there it is. There's much closer to the coast. That second low is the question mark. And you can see that second one here, and the closer one begins to turn things over to snow out to our west. Doesn't affect us, but it could out to our west. I think this one's too close. I think that one's too far inland and too rapid. The other, I think, perhaps are potentially too far off the coast. So we'll have to see where that develops. And that's a question mark for the forecast, whether we get a low in here as a secondary, or do we get a low out here? Okay, if it's out here in the ocean, big deal. If it's here along the coast, that's a bigger deal. And this will be basically for Saturday. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what that does. Right now, it probably will be off the coast and not be an impact, but it could keep clouds, maybe a few sprinkles, flurries around, breezy, gusty, kind of not so pleasant, but not that bad of a day. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. And then we see high temperatures for Saturday. Yeah, cooler, much cooler, more seasonal, more like winter temperatures in probably into the middle 30s. And then you can see here for Sunday, high pressure takes control. High temperatures once again in the middle 30s. And then we go to next Monday and see what do we get? Oh, another storm system comes. Looks like it's going to go to our northwest again. I agree that this is a very likely Tuesday. Here it comes. Bam. There we go. Now, could it be another one? Could be to our south. It could be. It's very possible. Now, this map here shows us what we have going is where we are right now in the pattern. That's as of this morning. Basically, somewhat of a trough in the east, trough coming into the west, lots and lots of moisture. This is where we are on Sunday. Next is coming up Sunday, the 15th. Trough in the west, moisture coming into California, somewhat of a trough off the East Coast. Basically the same kind of scenario. Not much changes this week. Although we do get into a little bit cooler weather. That's true than what we were before, but still, it's not much is changing. But then we start looking towards the following at the end of next week, towards the latter part of around the 21st. That's where we begin to see some possible changes occurring and maybe sticking in for at least probably about 3 weeks or something like that. And this is where you begin to get more of a trough into the east. But the big difference is you've got a ridge trying to develop along the west coast or somewhere around there. That's the difference. The other times you get a trough in the east, but there's still no ridging out west. Now there looks like there could be. We'll have to see how it works, but that could be the sign that we get into more wintry type weather. All right, so and to summarize, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, seasonal to mild, sunshine and clouds. Not that bad, near 40 most every single day. Thursday night into Friday, periods of rain, mild to warm as temperatures warm into the 40s, possibly getting to near 50 in some locations. Then Saturday, temperatures into the 30s. If a second storm forms close to the coast, could we get some snow? That's something to keep an eye on. It's a question. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is potential there just to kind of keep you in. If something does occur, I will obviously update. So to review, January 1st to the 8th was a warm pattern. January 9th to 15th, that's this week. We're transitioning into a cooler pattern with snow possibilities. We just had the first one was last night. It's just a coating, but it was a possibility. And the next one would basically be at the end of the week if a second storm forms. So it's not like there isn't potential, but still not very likely. January 16th to 22nd, that's the following week, okay? The third week of January. The winter pattern appears to be attempting to return. The California coastal storms end. When they end, that's the signal that the pattern is shifting. So we'll have to see exactly what goes on. Hey, that's all that I have for today. Enjoy it. Really, this, at some point, winter's going to come and you might be complaining when it does. So enjoy this weather. This is only the weather that we have right now. And hey, have a great day. God bless.